Hi Aries, welcome to your last half of March 2017 general tarot reading. It's Raina here, and just wanted to wish you happy birthday because some of you early birds at the end of March are going to have your solar return, and you're going to have a new moon. All of you have your birthday new moon on the 27th. So solar return, new beginnings, and also that Venus that started retrograding on the 4th, going from your own sign into your 12th house in Pisces. So possible karmic relationships, rearing their ugly or beautiful heads, maybe soulmate connections, things of that variety. So we'll see. This is a general focus, so we'll see what themes crop up. I'm doing a modified Celtic crossbred, and I will say what the positions stand for. Well, there it is. That's the soulmate card. That's not the soulmate card. There we go. All's well that ends well. Okay. So, your central theme for this last half of the month, and excuse any cards that go astray, is the Knight of Cups. I actually picked this card for Pisces right before you in a different position. This I characterize this as the Harlequin romance poster child type of male who is very sensitive and soulful and very in touch with his feelings and in touch with your feelings. Artistic, dreamy. And this person is like the knight in shining armor. And even in the upright position, I often say, watch out for anyone who tries to portray themselves that way, because then it can be almost like an act where they know that, people are going to eat it up with a big spoon, and there's not that sense of genuineness that is really there at the core level. It's like kind of an act. Now, that would be more of the reverse card, I suppose, but even in the upright position, it could be too good to be true. Maybe this is a facet of you. Maybe you have to be your own knight in shining armor, because we are getting, as the card that crosses you, a card associated with a water sign, which is, the Chariot card is connected to Cancer. Aries and Cancer, they tend to, if you're going to get with a water sign, it probably would be Cancer, because it's another cardinal sign, and it forms a square. It's a tense angle, but for some reason, the square aspect tends to draw people together sometimes, not all the times. And, with somebody like Aries, I could see you, being almost attracted to somebody who rubs you the wrong way on a regular basis, because you like to you like to spar with your partner. But so this, I'm wondering if this is the same person. Like maybe they have certain times when they come across as very caring and blah blah blah, and yet because they are a water sign, there is this constant sense of incompatibility because you're not that type of person. You're passionate, you're not emotional in terms of that kind of brand of nurturing that a Cancer person would provide, or another water sign. The other water signs are Scorpio and Pisces. The other thing about the Knight of Cups is it can be a card of the artist. So for people who are creative and they're in businesses that are, or companies, lines of work that are not satisfying, that can cause a conflict within the person. As a matter of fact, in the root cause position, we get the Ten of Pentacles, and this can be a family business situation. I got a similar configuration for Pisces. So that may be a theme that is going around for a lot of people. It doesn't have to be your family, like your family of origin. It could be your spouse. Maybe you're helping out with them. And, you know, it's interesting because nowadays this is probably more common than we acknowledge, because people may feel like they can't get a job on their own, so they're working for their family, they're working for their spouse, and they're feeling resentful. Aries people tend, I'm generalizing, to be better off working for themselves. Because you're a cardinal sign, you like to give orders, not take orders. And you like to envision things for yourself. You want to control what happens, the outcomes, the choices that you make. And you feel very pent up and hamstrung when you're forced to work for somebody else. I mean, that's just how it is. Not that you can't do it, but you may do it under duress, and it may seep out some of this resentment in various ways. And so that's something to think about as well. It could be, you know, this could be also a situation where you are in love with an artist and your family does not approve because they want, you know, the Chariot in the challenge position is allowing like outside influences, I would say, to influence you too much and not taking charge. And so if you have a meddling family who doesn't like the person that you're with because they think that, oh, this person doesn't make enough money, or, you know, the typical thing, then, you know, this is a challenge to you. Are you going to allow other people to dictate to you who you are with and what type of work you're doing? All of these aspects. Now, you know, these kinds of themes are not typical for an Aries person, but I find that, you know, that pure Aries personality is probably more rare than even I am aware of, because, you know, you do have other signs in other planets that modify that kind of very strong energy, independent energy of an Aries. So just to kind of explain it that way. In a recent past position, we have the World card. So this is perfect, actually, for the timing, because this is like an ending. This is the last card of the Major Arcana. You know, Pisces, at the time of this last half period of March, we're going from Pisces to Aries. So that's your 12th house, Pisces. And that is the wrapping up of things until you go to your solar return. So what that can entail in the real world is that you may notice themes of things ending. Maybe it's a certain job, or something like if you're working for somebody else, you may say, okay, I'm done with that. Now I'm going to do my own thing, and then starting anew, especially towards April. And then we have for the near future, we have the Nine of Wands, which is a card associated with fire energy. This is about keeping, I don't know if you'd say your guard up, but maybe having boundaries, setting boundaries, being more like yourself and having areas, but not like getting, upset about it, but just being very clear about what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate, whether it's in the workplace or in your home life. Because if you are, I have a feeling that there's not necessarily anything negative going on with your situation. Well, it's funny because I just realized I have to talk about the present. I was talking about the near future with that card, and I do want to talk about the present. Pardon me for, getting used to this modified Celtic crossbred. But this is actually a card associated with you, Aries, the Emperor. And so this is like you now. So that's why I'm saying the Emperor, if you notice, it's number 4. So the Emperor is all about a firm foundation structure. And the Emperor is somebody who is very well situated and powerful. So this is a card of empowerment. I get a couple of cards that way. If you haven't felt that way for some reason, I think you're going to feel like your old self again and again because of the 12th house. Going into the first house, you have more of that rejuvenation and energizing. But it's interesting that the Emperor card also connects to particular careers, such as law enforcement and the military. And so if there's anybody in your life who is in that those positions, and that might figure into things like in your romantic life. As a matter of fact, some of you, it reminds me a lot of Pisces, where, and by the way, it's kind of, I think that maybe one reason why Pisces and Aries are having similar themes may be because you're both having that Venus retrograde in the same 2 signs, in Aries and Pisces. But with that situation, it could be that some of you have a partner who may be away, maybe who may be a soldier or something like that, and maybe you've met somebody who is the exact opposite of that, who is this soft kind of an energy, gentle, and the other person is more macho. And so you're seeing that contrast. And, Aries, I think overall, well, I shouldn't say that because Aries is a very overpowering sign. So maybe you need that foil for you, and you need that person who's much more gentle, who can show you the gentle side of life. Maybe that would be better than having another fire sign or somebody who is very forceful, and then you're having a battle of the titans, type of a thing, a battle of the wills, of your will. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, like some kind of power struggles. So I guess it depends, but I do think that you're going to kind of put your foot down. Let's put it that way. And then I picked a card this is a card that represents your mindset. And this is a card that's definitely about having your own business, heck, your own corporation, if you want to take it that far. But being the master of your finances, your the money that you earn and being very affluent. That's definitely what you're trying to do here, and anything that keeps you from it, you will feel a sense of resentment, and you may feel like I'm working, like if it is for a spouse or your family, you may not even be getting paid. Let's say you're working for your family and you're living in the house, and they're giving you free room and board and you're not making any money. And you're saying, you're resentful because you feel like helpless. You feel like you're in this situation where you can't get ahead, where you're like kind of like being controlled by other people. This is a card of, total independence and mastery and respect, self-respect, respect from the outside world. Speaking of the outside world, this is the outer influences. It could be also with the King of Pentacles that there's a person who is an earth sign that is on your mind. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It could be if you have had a child with somebody of this earth element that you're thinking of them. Maybe they come back into the picture during this Venus retrograde. The outer influence is soulmate energy, karmic energy, but it could be energy from past, like what do they call it? Childhood sweethearts, high school sweethearts, the one that got away. And believe me, I mean, there's a lot of this going on for some reason, and that must be why I keep getting those cards. Yes, of course, Facebook, that makes it easy to do it, but why are people in that nostalgic mood, which is what the Six of Cups represents? Well, it represents simplicity. It represents innocence. So for some people, they feel like life has become very complicated in many ways. And so they're looking back. And we're talking about, particularly about middle-aged people, because, obviously if you're young, high school, if it was 2 years ago, it's not, but it could be. I mean, it could still be the Six of Cups. But it's even more profound if you're older, because obviously time has gone by and you've had something to compare it to. And you may think, God, if only I would have made different choices. And of course that's foolish, because we make the choices we make based on everything else that's going on in our lives, not with the insight that comes from actually going down a different road. So, that kind of hindsight is, or that kind of looking back, we should always look back at the past fondly, but not to get attached to it. And usually Aries does not. So unless you have, Cancer in your moon sign or your rising sign, maybe, I don't know, could Venus be your Cancer? I think so. No, maybe not. I don't know if it can be your Cancer. But, if you have Cancer like prominent, you may be more prone to that kind of nostalgic, what if thinking. You don't want, like the Nine of Wands says, you want to kind of protect yourself regardless of what you decide to do during this period, so that you're not like just operating with some kind of blinders on, with rose-colored glasses. The higher message is the why can't I get this here? Is the Ten of Swords, which is a card of betrayal. So it may be, this position is the higher message or the advice. The Ten of Swords is related to being stabbed in the back, figuratively. So as the higher message, it could be saying that you possibly, this could possibly be something that you did. Maybe you glossed over a situation where somebody betrayed you. And it's part of the reason why you feel dissatisfaction now. And, it could be like a current relationship. And so that Knight of Cups, you may be placing a lot of, and that could be this person too, you know, and you see that they're both cups. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or somebody who has a lot of water in their chart. You could be like looking at them idealistically or overly idealistically, because in the back of your mind you know that this relationship, if you are currently in a relationship, that it has been one of betrayal, and maybe you did not allow yourself to feel the feelings. Maybe you've just been on automatic. If the person, let's say the person is overseas, maybe they are, and you know what, it could be, yeah, well, I was going to say like a military situation. You may have noticed that things have changed between the two of you, and you may suspect something, but you can't prove it. But you have to acknowledge that, or even in your, maybe you were working before, if you're working currently with family or a spouse, maybe you were working at some company where you were let go unceremoniously. And maybe you had been working there for many years, and you felt like, wow, this is the thanks I get, huh? But you never really dealt with it. You just threw yourself into more activity, which is very common with Aries. Aries tends to be very, almost like hyperactive in terms of like action oriented. And you may have been like, that may have been that kind of betrayal. Maybe it's just some kind of betrayal in your past, maybe lingering around on an unconscious level. And maybe you need to heal from something so that you can move on, because the outcome is a really self-empowered card. The Magician is a card of, you know, you taking the reins of the Chariot and making the most of what you have, not waiting around to have everything that you need in order to manifest something, but really just feeling a sense of self-empowerment and the ability to do what you need to do now with what you have. And so if you want to start a business, not to be grandiose about it, you don't have to be. You can start very small. Aries tends to like to, you know, start big, and tends to kind of exaggerate things. So start small, and build, and be patient, not Aries' strong suit. Same with relationships. Start small. Even if it's somebody that you've known in the past and you think you know them. Especially with these relationships where it was like a high school thing. Realize that people have lived, you know, long, you know, probably a long period of time without contact with you, so they've changed. And you can't expect them to be how they were when they were in high school. Even if you've, and here's the other thing too. For some people, you may need to realize that this person that you think is a soulmate is actually, that they've actually betrayed you in some way. Because I've been getting that too, where people are really putting a great spin on a soulmate, saying this person's my soulmate, and it's like a terrible relationship. It's like, God, you know, karmic relationship, yeah, but soulmate, like, in other words, gravitating towards it, I don't think so. So anyway, the Magician card is a great way to end the reading, because it talks about self-empowerment, the law of attraction, in kind of attracting that perfect partner to you. And I just thought of something very cheesy, but it did remind me of the fact that I have my first nonfiction ebook out, and it's called Manifest Your Soulmate, a guide to high vibe love. So that's available from my online store, but definitely, because that's what I believe, you know, that we do attract, and that we have more power than we know. You know, the movies will tell you that you just randomly meet people, and it's like it just like love just kind of falls on you like rain, instead of this sense of almost like a dating service where you're very intentional about what it is that you're looking for. Not rigid, but you have these concepts, and that includes boundaries and saying this is what I accept, this is what I don't accept, and then you don't get into situations where you feel this connection, and it could be a karmic connection, but it's not positive, it's dysfunctional. So the reading ends on a great note, an empowering note, and I hope you enjoyed it, Aries. If you'd like a personal reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great month. Bye.